Christmas is supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, and it usually always is, except for one particular year. The year was 2006, and it was the year I found out Santa wasn't real. I don't remember the exact date it happened, but I remember it was around 2 weeks before Christmas. Some of you know my older brother, Chris. Chris is the one responsible for crushing this childhood belief. So I'll start by telling you about the day it all happened. When we were little, Chris was always up to no good, and this particular day was no different. My mom was at the mall and my dad was at work, so Chris and I were left under the supervision of my older sister, Erica. Chris told me to come upstairs because he had something to show me. So we walked in my mom's closet, and there were presents everywhere. I could tell he had been in there several times before because he dove straight for the Xbox that he had been asking for all year. I was nearly in tears and extremely confused when I asked him why Santa came so early. He looked at me in disbelief and said, "You still believe in Santa?" That's when I lost it. I cried and cried. Chris felt really bad, and he tried to convince me that he was kidding and that Santa was real, but my mind had been made up, and by this point, I was practically hysterical. When my mom came home, Chris was extremely scared, and he ran up to her explaining what happened. He told my mom how sorry he was and how bad he felt, but I knew he just was scared that she would take his Xbox back. My mom then sat down with me and told me that Santa had to come early because Miss Claus wanted Santa home for Christmas this year. I didn't completely believe her, but I told her I did and that I still believed in Santa. We continued on with all of the Christmas festivities, even though Santa had already came. We made cookies for Santa and put out food for his reindeer. When you're not sure whether or not Santa is real, putting out reindeer food just isn't the same. So the next few weeks continued on, and I was still on the fence about whether I thought Santa was real or not. Then one night, we watched Elf for like the 100th time. And for those of you that have seen Elf, you know that Santa's sleigh runs on Christmas spirit and people who believe in Santa. So I started thinking, and I was like, oh yeah, Santa has to be real, because if I don't believe in him, then other children won't get their presents on Christmas morning. So after that, I was feeling good, and I was convinced again that Santa was real. However, I finally found out the truth when I looked under the tree on Christmas morning and found a present that said, "To Mary from Dad." And when my dad realized what he'd done, he scratched out Dad and wrote "From Santa." Needless to say, that is a Christmas that I will never forget. Thank you.